Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. I promise I won't lie to you either today. So yeah, that's the initial, of course, assumption that everything is true what we tell here. Let's see if these things work. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming here. It's really an impressive place, an impressive event. And as I've learned, we're streamed live here to YouTube and to other places, which yeah, is a new experience for me as well. So to be live. Yeah, what do we do? SecurEnvoy before we? No, there we are. Okay, so before we start with the topic seamless authentication, I just want to give you an overview of who we are, because we are maybe not that well-known brand as other big brands you see here on the event. So SecurEnvoy is an English company, has been founded in 2003 already by two guys who were pioneering in the market of tokenless authentication. We are now present with customers in like 50 countries, and we have people like me in the region who take care about our partners, our end users, our customers, of course. Yeah, talking about customers, we have in these almost 15 years created quite a customer base, and what you can see here, it's that they are from pretty much across the board, from all verticals, from all market segments. So because authentication, strong authentication is a topic that is not specific for, let's say, the finance industry or specific for health. It's something that everyone should consider, of course, who has to protect something and who hasn't to protect anything. We all have our customer data, our valuable data, and we want to make sure that no one has access to that in an unauthorized way. Yeah. We support, with our two-factor authentication, we support a lot of different technologies, because that's also the case. Who knows what kind of remote access someone has tomorrow? Who knows what kind of application will be established in the next 18 months? So if you decide for an authentication solution, you should be in a position to be sure, okay, whatever I will do in the following years, it will still be supported by the authentication solution. I won't replace that. So when you, as we do, authenticate users with a second factor, means that you have to have something to prove that it is you, not only your password, but also something additionally for proving your identity. And if you do not want to hand out devices to your users to do that, because that's unhandy, that's extra effort, that's costly, that's inconvenient, you want to make the user use what he already has, his mobile phone, his smartphone, his tablet. But then you are, of course, in a situation where every user has maybe a different device. So you have to provide different ways of authentication, different methods, different variants. And this is what we do. You can see here from SMS, which is probably the most well-known mobile phone-based authentication method. It's popular in a lot of consumer ways because you don't need anything except the mobile phone number. We also have a lot of other different methods like smartphone apps, push authentication, email, voice calls, and even the PC or the Mac can be your authentication device. So this is what we're doing. So we support like every technology which is out there, every user which is out there, so to have really in a seamless way, a way to equip every user with a second factor without burden him with extra devices, extra efforts. Okay, so if you compare authentication with a very popular example that everyone uses, of course, all the time, it's the car industry and cars. But if you look at how you get access to your car and how this has changed over the years, it's quite dramatic. I mean, we started with car keys. That's pretty much what you see on the left. We had a key that we put into our door. We unlock the door. We get into the car. We put the key into the ignition. We turn it around. So that is how it used to be for a long time. But if you look around now, that's rarely the case for modern cars, that it is done by this. And why is that? That has two reasons. First of all, of course, security. Yeah, a key is maybe not the most. A mechanical key is not the most secure thing. They can be copied, whatever, you know that. But it's the user experience. It's the convenience. It's the acceptance of the user to get access to something he uses every day. He don't want to be bothered by extra effort, by delays, by fiddling around for the key in his pocket to remove it, to use it. And that's the same as we have in authentication to IT systems. We want that the user has the least possible extra effort to work, because nobody buys security because it's just so great. It's just because it's necessary. And so we don't want to harm the user's way of working. So from that mechanical key, the car industry invented these central lockings with a remote control. So there you push a button, you unlock the door, you get into the car. Much easier. You can do it from a distance. You walk to your car, you press the button, you enter the car, and then you're in. Sometimes you have to still put the key into the ignition, but in a lot of cars you just press the start button and there you go. Yeah. So this is the next step. And what we see on the right, I think this is from a Tesla, but it's also in a similar way available, of course, in other brands. You just touch the car. You just approach the car, you touch the car, you open the door and you go in. So that is the most seamless entry and access to a car that you can imagine. So it's just verifying your identity based on something you have with you, without having the necessity to just push something or to do anything explicitly. So this is a good travel through the time for access to your car, and this kind of experience we also want to have in IT access, in logical access. So if you look at this, this is basically, if you compare it, authentication with a password only. This is like the mechanical key that we have had like in the 80s for cars. There is a limited number of variations of that key. There is a limited length in the password because we cannot remember too much. And if you look at this, then this looks outdated, and it is actually outdated. I mean, if you think, yeah, but still, I'm logging in like this to a lot of systems. Yes, there are also old cars around. But is this the way you would protect your assets? Is this something you would consider as being secure? With a car, probably not. You would maybe not leave your notebook in a car that has a mechanical key from the 80s. But our data is maybe behind systems that are protected with a password only. So this is the 80s. Of course, we have two-factor authentication not only since yesterday. We have been using it for years and also almost for decades. And what we have today, of course, we have the smartphones. We have things that we always have with us. We don't need to buy them extra. We don't need to roll them out to the users. We don't need to ship them, to replace them. Smartphones rarely end up in washing machines or are left over the weekend on a desk for everyone in reach. So the smartphone already is a very good technology for two-factor, for the second-factor authentication, and it's very convenient. You open the app, it shows you a one-time code, you enter this code, and then you're logged in. Yeah. Okay, entering the code. This is maybe a little bit 90s, a little bit 2000, yes. But it's a secure way, it's convenient, and it's versatile. It works on your tablet, it works on modern devices. It's not limited to hardware, to connectivity, to USB ports, to any other prerequisites to be fulfilled to make use of this. Yeah, so what can we do? We have a smartphone, we have an app, and we have a connected device, so we can make this much more simple also. We can make use of the not only offline app, but we can put this online, we can make this more convenient, and this is what we have been doing. I don't know if it works. If it works, we could just start a small video how we added online functionality to our solution. So you just log in, you use your username and your password, you get a push notification on your phone, You accept it, you press a button, and then you are logged in. So no typing in of codes, no entering anything manually. It's just accepting the login attempt, like pressing on your remote control for the car to enter it. So this is very convenient. This is very versatile. It adds just to an app. It doesn't need any more environment than the server that is already there and the app that is already there. So this is, I would say, this is probably something the millennials could live with as a way of seamless authentication. But still, of course, there is this push of a button, and if you look at a web application, then you still have to do all these steps before. So you have to open your browser, you type in the URL, or you click on a bookmark, you type in your username, your password, and then you get the code, and then you verify. So the convenience is pretty much the same as you would have with just a password-based authentication, but maybe we can do this in an even more simple way, and this is then what we would see as the more seamless approach that is possible then from now on. So just to recap what we have here for the push notification. So you enter your username and your password into the login mask. You get the push notification sent to your phone, iPhone, Android, Windows Phone, and you accept this, and then you're logged onto the web application. As said, already easy, but yeah, now you are somewhere, your PC broke, you want to have access to your emails, and that's one of the typical cases probably where you want to use a web-based email system like Outlook Web Access in that example. So you're going to an internet cafe. Where is the Outlook Web Access? What is the URL? You never typed it in manually because you have a bookmark on your browser. So you have to just find out what is the URL. You have to remember your username, your password, and then you get the push message to authenticate. By the way, also you get it on an Apple Watch if you have, or on an Android watch, you can also accept it there, so you don't even have to put your hands away from the keyboard. But yes, this is the next step. We see the next step is NFC Based Authentication. NFC has been around for a long time, to be fair. We are all waiting for the breakthrough of NFC still, but there is one big use case, or maybe two, which will bring NFC to a success, and this is payment. Payment is something where we also have a strong desire to make it easy, because we just go somewhere, we buy a coffee, we buy some small amount things, and handling all this cash, handling all these efforts to have the cash to exchange it, it just creates delays. We want to have this more easy, and we want to use our mobile phone for that. And this is what companies like Apple with Apple Pay, Google Pay, and of course also the banks are enforcing, to have a mobile payment, an easy payment, an easy way to do things, to just use the mobile phone as we use the mobile phone for all the other use cases also. So that is the one big driver for NFC, and it is built into every device already. It's also built into every iPhone, even if we cannot use it as of today in third-party apps. But it is built in all the devices, and also on a PC side, NFC payment will not be only on the purchase on the point of sales for your coffee. It will also be the right way to pay at online shopping, at any services, at video streaming portals, all these things where you have to make transactions, where you have to enter your credit card details, whatever. With NFC, you can do this with a provider, and the shop owner would not even see the data that you are entering. So this is also security, this is also convenience. And the other big thing, of course, is physical access, opening doors. I mean, every hotel now has these RFID cards to open doors. We have physical access controls, and everywhere where we can use an RFID card, we can, from the technology, also use our mobile phone. So also there, NFC will be a big thing in the future, in the near future. And so what we see is that we will be the provider for authentication with NFC, like Apple Pay-like physical access also for authentication to your IT systems. We will use NFC because it's just so easy, it's handy, it's with the device, and you don't need to do anything. If we could start that video maybe on that slide, then we have a short overview how this works. So instead of opening the browser, typing in the address, you just go to your phone, you activate your account, you touch the phone on the PC, and then you're logged in already. Because there is not only this one-time code that is transferred via NFC to your phone, it is the URL of the application, it is your username, it is your password, and it is the passcode. So as we say, a PIN, a tab, and you're in. You just have your credentials on your phone, protected with a PIN or with a fingerprint on the phone, and then you present the phone to the reader, the browser starts, the application loads, and you're logged in. And this is what we, if you stress that example with the car, you approach the car, you touch the handle, and you enter the car and you drive away. That is how we want to do it, and this is how it works with NFC. So basically, we have something you own, that is your phone. It is something you are, it's the fingerprint to unlock the phone, to unlock your credentials that you have stored on the phone. And then, of course, it's something you know because the password you have entered before into your account. And this is transferred via NFC to the reader, to the reader built into your PC, built into a lot of tablets already, or to a reader which is connected to the device with a USB. It's a €5 device basically that you need, and then you can make use of NFC there. Yeah, so this is how we seeing authentication becoming seamless. We want to get rid of the password. We want to get we want to get rid of the password. We want to get rid of extra efforts. We want to have it seamless. And this is the technology that is already there. We are reusing technology that is built into devices, that is deployed to the market, deployed to the users. And this makes it possible for you to secure your applications in your environment with the most modern and most easy and nice to use ways to authenticate. And this is also, of course, a very important point, to have the user acceptance, because anything that the user dislikes, he's always trying to avoid, to circumvent, and he's, your IT departments will not have an easy time with difficult to use authentication methods, and of course also the one who makes the decisions about security will be in favor for a solution that is handy, easy, simple, and of course with enterprise security. Yeah, so happy to get some of your questions now, or of course also anytime later. I will be here today and tomorrow. We have a small booth here and we can show it you. You can answer any questions, but happy to answer some if you have for now. Okay. Everyone overwhelmed and no questions. Okay, thank you very much.
No? Okay. I will actually have one question. What is the biggest challenge in achieving seamless authentication? What are some of the biggest challenges that you encounter trying to, integrate this process into everything?
Well, I mean, for the online authentication with the push, there is no big challenge because this is something which is everywhere already available. For the NFC part, which is more seamless even, we are depending, of course, on devices having built-in NFC capabilities, on vendors opening APIs for us to use, and on PC vendors to implement the readers into their devices. So it's not something we can do on our own. We are relying on the infrastructure provided there, and this is at the moment still the biggest challenge, but there will be a breakthrough in deployment of these devices, and then we are ready to use it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
An applause. Thank you.